Rink Wide Vancouver. Pre-game, post-game, every game. We're presented by Bodog, Canada's home for casino games and sports odds, where everybody goes to play. JPat and Wadden here with you with another edition of our Players of the Week and who we got in the penalty box. A YouTube exclusive here, JPat, and always a fun one for both of us. Who do you got for your Player of the Week? Who stood out for you from the Canucks this week?
I think it's been a great week. I think it's been a terrific preseason for Conor Garland. But he scored last night in Abbotsford, scored on that deflection in Edmonton, so he scored in back-to-back games against the Oilers. Guess who leads the Vancouver Canucks in preseason scoring? Not really a mystery here. It's Conor Garland! Now, this is Player of this week, so the preseason now has extended over a couple of weeks, but I think he got off to a nice start, and he has continued it. He kind of skates under the radar a little bit just because there are other storylines, there are flashier players, there are bigger issues. But through all of this preseason, I just think Conor Garland's been a constant. He's up to 6 points now in the 4 games that he has played. He's had a good week, and for that reason, Conor Garland is my rink-wide Canuck Player of the Week.
Yeah, I said it on the podcast last night. I feel like he's been sort of the best forward for the Canucks through this preseason. Not to take away anything from what we've seen from Elias Pettersson. He's been very dominant. Love what I've seen from EP40 so far in this preseason. But it just seems like Conor Garland is one of those guys, even when we saw him in Whistler, always hustling out there, sort of setting the tone for the young guys. And maybe Conor Garland heard a bit of the whispers, JPat, throughout the offseason that maybe he's the guy they dangle in a trade. I don't know if they want to be trading Conor Garland just yet. He's having a hell of a preseason. Looks like he's going to have a hell of a season for the Vancouver Canucks. I got Kyle Burroughs as my Player of the Week. Now, Kyle Burroughs, stay-at-home guy, loves to bring the physicality. However, he brings a versatility to the Canucks as well. He can play on both sides, as we've seen. And I'm wondering, JPat, has he passed Tucker Poolman on the depth chart? If the season were to start tomorrow, the last game of the preseason, would he be on that third pair over Tucker Poolman right now? And of course, there's injuries on the blue line, so we'll see where he might slot in because of that. But right now, to me, even if everybody was healthy, I think he's got that third pair spot on the right side.
Yeah, and if you go back earlier in the week, that game in Edmonton when the Canucks sent basically an AHL squad, he and Krista Wolanin, and I know Wolanin came out of the night sort of drawing the rave reviews, but guess what? He was on a pairing with Kyle Burroughs. They matched up against Connor McDavid. At times, they matched up against Leon Draisaitl and certainly held their own. It's been a really good preseason for Kyle Burroughs, and I do think he has made things interesting. I think he's put himself in that conversation. I thought Tucker Poolman had a decent night out in Abbotsford. There was the one goal where he got beaten by McDavid, but hey, guess what? So did Quinn Hughes, so did just about everybody on the ice the way McDavid was going. But I thought, start to finish, Tucker Poolman, probably the best that he's looked here in the preseason. Is that enough to solidify his spot as one of the 6 defensemen for the Canucks on opening night? We're going to find out. You're right. The versatility of Kyle Burroughs, I think, certainly gives the Canucks something to think about. And there's also this. The coach loves the guy. I think it's pretty clear every time that Bruce Boudreau is asked about Kyle Burroughs, big smile. I think he just respects the fact that he's not the biggest guy in the league, but he certainly plays big, shows up, competes hard, and that's what a coach wants. So that's a nice selection. I think it's been a good couple of weeks for Kyle Burroughs.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we'll go to the penalty box. I'm sure you'd like to put my shirt in the penalty box, seeing as you're a Mariners supporter, I'm a Blue Jay supporter. It's going to be a great weekend for us. But who didn't have a not so great week for the Canucks in terms of putting them in the rink-wide penalty box?
Well, he was my do-something guy ahead of the game at Abbotsford, and then guess what? He didn't even play. JT Miller it's a minor penalty, as they all are here in the preseason. But the one game that he appeared in this week was that 4-0 loss in Seattle. Oh, yeah, he was on the ice for all 4 of the Kraken goals and just kind of looked like he was going through the motions. He can get away with that one more time, the preseason finale against Arizona. But, man, next Wednesday when they start playing for keeps in Edmonton, 99-point guy. I'm not expecting he'll get back to 99 points again this season, but he has to be one of the leaders. He has to be one of the drivers for the Vancouver Canucks. He's barely played here in the preseason, and so it's hard to hold one game against a guy. I would like to have seen him in action last night. It looked like he was going to based on the morning skate, and then did not play, but he is expected to dress against Arizona on Friday. But for that one game, that was enough for this week for me to put JT Miller in the Rink Wide Penalty Box.
Yeah, it's like JT Miller won some sort of fantasy contest and got to skate with the team in Seattle or something. That's what it seemed like out there. Didn't seem engaged at all. Would have loved to have seen him last night. I'm sure the fans out in Abbotsford would have loved to him as well. 7,000 plus representing there in Abbotsford. Now, there was a lot of Oiler jerseys there too, but I'm sure a lot of number 9s would have been out there for JT Miller as well. And when you see Connor McDavid and Elias Pettersson doing what they did in front of the crowd in Abbotsford last night, like I would have wanted to see that from JT Miller as well. So I like your pick for JT Miller in the Rink Wide Penalty Box this week. Now I'm going to get a little bit deeper here this week, and I don't like doing this, JPat. You and I love talking about what we see on the ice. We love talking about the hockey. Everything is usually focused on what we see at the rink. This is off the rink, and I'm tired of this. I'm putting the Canucks organization in the penalty box. Now, they're lucky it's preseason and they're only getting a minor, because this could be a major penalty. In fact, they could have to go see the Department of Player Safety on this one.
Wow.
If things start to continue the way they have. Don't like what I'm seeing PR-wise from the Canucks, whether it's the Rachel Dory story from this week or whether it's the child abuse accusations of Francesco Aquilini. It just seems like every year there's something with the Canucks. They got 99 problems, but right now, hockey ain't one, which is so weird for the Canucks because it's usually a mess on and off the ice for this team, as we've seen over the last decade. However, right now, they're righting that ship. But the front office, or at least the organization, maybe not the front office, so to speak, the higher-ups, still a mess.
Wow, they're doing those renovations at Rogers Arena. Have they expanded the penalty box? Put the entire organization in a penalty box. I'm not sure that there's room for all of them, but hey, it is preseason, so we'll see how that one goes. You're right, there's a lot of noise. I think they helped the cause by getting that first preseason victory against the Oilers. I don't think anybody wanted any part of this organization going down to the final night of the preseason, still searching for a victory, but the off-ice distractions, the injuries to Besser and Mikheyev, Tyler Myers now day-to-day, Phil DiGiuseppe, again, they're not completely healthy. And we have said the start of this season, the importance of hitting the ground running. Well, I'm not sure they can put their best foot forward if they don't have a lot of their best players at their disposal. So interesting to see. I know that Mikheyev and Besser are back on skates. That's good news. But who's going to be healthy on opening night? Do they get through the final preseason game on Friday night unscathed, or does that add to their injury woes? So, yeah, there's just a lot of noise that you wish wasn't there as they get set for the first of 82 next Wednesday in Edmonton.
Do you agree or disagree with our picks? Well, leave it in the comments below. And of course, we'll be back. Tomorrow is a game day as the Canucks get set to face the Desert Dogs, the Arizona State University Coyotes. I'm sorry, JPat, I'm not calling them anything different this year. ASU is in the house tomorrow night.
Hopefully they're sending their varsity team.
Yes, absolutely right. So we'll have a pregame for you exclusively here on YouTube. And then, of course, our bread and butter, baby, our post-game show. You know you love it. We'll have that available as quick as we can after the game. This has been another edition of the Rink Wide Vancouver podcast presented by Bodog. For Jeff Patterson, I'm Andrew Wadden. Remember, Rink Wide is the show that always scores.